Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to my Norwich versus Chelsea preview. I've come to Hampstead Heath. It's a beautiful place. I've not yet got a sponsor for the football channel, so sadly I can't afford to live here right now. It's just bloody beautiful, isn't it? I thought I'd change things up a little bit, change the scenery. There is a bit of an echo because we're next to like this pond area. It's almost like a theme from a movie, or a scene from a movie, should I say, where you expect like a big battle to commence. Well, I chose this location because a battle is about to commence tomorrow, an hour and a half away from here, at Carrow Road, at lunchtime on a Saturday. It's going to be a bit of a fun one, this one. I think that Chelsea can expect a very tough game. I'm going to go into some of the points that I think we've got to address in terms of what to expect from Norwich, what we need to expect from ourselves, and obviously the expectations that we have as fans going into match day number 3 so far without a win. So the first thing I want to address is, if you didn't see my Premier League week predictions video, it was uploaded last night, definitely go and check that out. I predicted in that video, this is your final chance to pause this video and go and watch that one so I don't ruin it. I predicted a 2-1 Chelsea victory. And I think before we go into anything tactical, into anything that we really need to see, it's so important that we get a win. If we keep drawing matches, we all know the media pressure is going to get on the back of the manager. There are some fans out there, sadly, who don't quite have the mental capacity to actually make decisions for themselves in terms of, we know we need to give Frank Lampard time. We know that it's a project that isn't necessarily going to have the same rewards as what we've been used to over the years, season after season, for the last 15 or so years. We know that it's a process. We know that Frank's got a vision and we're already seeing it on the pitch. However, the longer that win number 1 doesn't come, the more we have to worry about. And Norwich, yes, they're one of the newly promoted clubs, and Chelsea have only lost 2 of their last 22 matches against newly promoted clubs, and both of those have been against the Championship champions in the last 2 seasons. We lost to Newcastle in 17-18 and we lost to Wolves in 18-19 last season. So there are plenty to worry about, although those statistics, they don't really matter in terms of like who turns up on the pitch and wins the game on the day. It is something to look at. We seem to be struggling a little bit more now against the newly promoted clubs, and in the past we'd be brushing them aside. If we're taking a look at statistics again, we're also unbeaten in our last 10 matches at Carrow Road. The last time we lost was 25 years ago in 1994. We were beaten there 3-0, and that was the year I was born, so maybe me starting to make these videos is another bad omen. I don't want to jinx things. I am that guy who makes comments that are just completely outrageous, and then it turns out that it might actually happen, and then everyone's calling for my head on YouTube, which I don't want that to happen. I predicted 2-1 to Chelsea, and these are the 3 key things that we need to look at for tomorrow. So the first one, we've all talked about Teemu Pukki. I based an entire video off of him compared to our 3 strikers this week, so we already know that he's a massive threat. Norwich have got some other very good players that we need to worry about as well. Emi Buendia, I hope I've pronounced that correctly. It's like Buendia. He's an Argentinian, he's a very good player, he's kind of a bag of tricks. We don't really know what to expect from him, and the likes of Kante and Jorginho are going to have to really be on their A game in order to combat that kind of skillful player within the Norwich midfield. As well as that, they've also got the young English talent Todd Cantwell, who I knew absolutely nothing about him, I'll be completely honest, until the first 2 matches of the season, and then I've seen some of the highlights and he plays some really, really nice football. So Norwich aren't just the team that are based around the very good Finnish striker Teemu Pukki. They've got a lot of other good players. Max Aarons is another very good fullback, someone to worry about. They've got 2 very good solid centre-backs as well, and they play with a 5-man midfield. I expect they're going to be like a 4-2-3-1, something very similar to what we saw under Frank Lampard. I'll put a potential Norwich team on the screen right now for you guys to look at. Pukki's obviously the main man up front. They don't have that much depth in the attacking positions up front, so obviously they're relying a lot on Pukki this season to deliver the goals, and well, he scored all 4 that they've scored so far, so that's kind of obvious. So another thing that we need to expect from Norwich City is they play a very expansive style of football. What this means is when players are running with the ball, they've always got people coming behind them for support, whether that's the fullbacks making overlapping runs, making sure there's a pass available around the back. You remember when we used to play with the wing backs in the Antonio Conte system? Couldn't get his name out there, it's been a while. Marcus Alonso would always be the furthest forward, so would Victor Moses. Norwich play with something very similar to that, and what that does is it means they've always got somebody around the player on the ball ready to move it around. There's a lot of passing, quick passing within the expansive football style, and it's something that, again, N'Golo Kante, Jorginho, they're going to have to be ready to intercept the ball, because A, we can't allow Norwich to dominate the possession too much because otherwise we're going to struggle, and B, winning the ball back enables our more attacking players, the players who we've already seen this season, who are able to create the chances. We need to be able to win that ball back, distribute it to the flanks, and then whoever's playing up front, we'll get into that in a moment, we've actually got to start taking these chances now. We've created opportunities in the games that we've played so far and not delivered, which is the biggest issue at Chelsea right now. We could have scored a couple against United. We hit the woodwork twice. That's just a little bit unlucky. Again against Leicester, we started so well with that high press, the intensity in the first 20 minutes of the game. We didn't deliver the goals, which is, you can't afford to do that, particularly against teams like Norwich, where it all comes back to that main man up top. He's going to finish his chances. Kepa's going to have his work cut out, as of the defence, and it's entirely up to Chelsea to win that ball back when they're playing with this expansive style of football, win it back and distribute it forward. We've got to be fast and very intense in this game. So I guess my first 2 points in this video are based off of what Norwich bring with that expansive style of football. Chelsea have got to convert those chances. Those things go together, and it is the absolute difference as to whether or not we go away from Carrow Road with that first win that we so desperately crave. We've created opportunities. We've got some very good attacking players. Questions have been asked about the striker. We know that. We don't know who it's going to be, and we don't know if any of them are good enough to fire us to glory. However, I've got the confidence in all 3 of them. They all have qualities. We all know what they can do. I'm not going to exhaust that in this match preview today because I've already done a video that was 17 bloody minutes long. If you've got that time on a Friday night, go and check it out as well. Although I'd also advise being social, going out for a beer, maybe some fish and chips, maybe a pub meal. I don't know, whatever you're into. It's an early start tomorrow though, so don't drink too much. And the third thing that is absolutely key tomorrow is the return of Antonio Rudiger. We have said countless times in the matches this season, I've exhausted it on the channel, I've got faith in Zuma, I've got faith in Christensen, and I also think Tomori can do a job when he comes in as well. But Rudiger's return, in my opinion, he's our strongest centre-back, and the fact that he played 90 minutes in the development squad earlier this week, Frank has come out and said that he might be ready, he might start him. Obviously his press conference is about an hour after I record this video, so what I've just said there may be completely null and void.
Why you do this? Why you do this?
So those are the 3 things that I think are key for this game. I think if Chelsea can convert those chances that we know we can create, and as well as that, if we can win the ball back quickly against the Norwich expansive style of football, I think Chelsea can come away with the 3 points. I've said 2-1 in my prediction. Let's move on to my starting lineup. In goal, it's Kepa. We don't need to spend any time. You got things to do. I've got things to do. I want to walk around Hampstead Heath. It's bloody beautiful and fantasize about what could be. Azpilicueta at right back. Reece James isn't fully fit yet. You could potentially stick Rudiger at right back, but I had his questions asked about him, about his crossing, about his speed to be able to track back, about his defensive abilities. Is he really a good enough right back? Maybe he's a better centre back. Whatever it is, Azpilicueta starts at right back with Emerson in the left back position. He's been absolutely brilliant so far this season. I think he'll be a mainstay at Chelsea Football Club for the next few years. I think he's a great player, underrated still, and we're really starting to see his qualities now. Moving forward, screening that defence, Jorginho. He may not be the best at actually keeping out all of the ball, going to the defenders. He's not maybe the best tackler in the team. That's N'Golo Kante, but we see him in a new role now. And I'm kind of looking at this like a potential diamond, or maybe again a 4-2-3-1. But I expect Kante and Kovacic to play. I think those 3, when they play together, are definitely our strongest in the midfield, which leaves us with 3 attacking players. I've gone with Mason Mount on the left, Pulisic on the right, Michy Batshuayi up top. I think Pulisic and Mount, they can both come in. They can kind of have that freedom to roam a little bit more, inviting Emerson forward, maybe Azpilicueta going forward a little bit more as well. And then you've got the likes of Kante and Kovacic. You can come back in, win the ball, and you've still got Jorginho to cover. At the same time, if we're struggling, Kante can drop back and sit in front of that defensive line with Jorginho as well, which means that maybe Mason Mount drops into more of a number 10. There are different things that could happen. I'm very unsure right now as to what Frank believes is his best formation. What does Frank think is the best way to go into a game against Norwich, who, no disrespect to Norwich, they're a very good team and I'm not underestimating them for one moment, but compared to Man United and Leicester, I think this is definitely a much more winnable game for Chelsea, and I think we should definitely try and play towards our strengths more than trying to combat theirs. So we've established in this preview that Norwich have got some very good players. They're a very good team that plays some very attractive football, and that we know that they can already score goals, and we've got that man up front. I think I'm sick and tired of talking about him now, to be honest. I just pray that we manage to nullify that attacking threat from Norwich tomorrow. I think defensively, we're going to have to be on the ball. In the midfield, we've got to be winning that ball back as quickly as possible. And I think a big issue that we've seen, particularly in that game against Leicester, was the burnout within the second half. We played such a high intensity within the first 20-30 minutes of the game, and we didn't convert enough chances, which meant we didn't have that cushion in order to go into the second half and defend a 2 or 3 goal lead. If we did that, Leicester wouldn't have had the same impetus to get forward and get more involved in the game. They knew at 1-0 at half time, they were still firmly involved in that game, and I think it's very key tomorrow for Chelsea that if we go out there early, playing with a similar intensity to what we did against Leicester, we've got to convert the chances, and that all depends on who starts up front and whether or not the midfielders can get some shots in from outside the box. Maybe Ross Barkley would be a good idea to get on the pitch tomorrow instead of Mason Mount. That's up to you guys to decide in the comments down below. I certainly wouldn't be too disappointed if I did see that. I just think Mason has started the first two. I think he'll start again tomorrow as well. Maybe on the left, maybe in the number 10. So many options for Chelsea right now. I don't know what to think going forward. I really hope that Michy gets a start tomorrow, and I hope he delivers the goals. Again, it's nothing against Giroud, nothing against Tammy. I just think that if we don't really know the answer, and Frank doesn't know the answer, give the other man who's not even had a sniff a chance. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the new backdrop today. A couple of nice stairs, some holly bushes, some... I don't know what they're called, to be honest. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Can Chelsea get their first win tomorrow at Carrow Road with Frank Lampard as the manager? I'm going to the game. I think I'm going to do a match vlog tomorrow because Lawrence is coming with me to Norwich as well, so that'll be fun. And I'm probably just going to film a few clips in the stadium, couple of reaction shots. You guys get the drill. I said last week I wasn't going to do it every week. I'm not going to do it every week. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow for my first away game of the season. My first time in Norwich as well. Never been there before. Don't know what to expect. Stay tuned on Twitter. I'll let you guys know where I'm at. If you want to come and say hello, you want to come and get involved in the video, and I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.